Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and this is another shaky cam interior review. Um, when we were in the Golf Sport Wagon, I had promised to do a review of the interior of the Golf. So here we are, but we're not just in any Golf, we are in a 2015 Volkswagen Golf R. Um, this is 295 horsepower of awesomeness. This little car drives like a dream. This is a great little car. But this is an interior review, not a driving review. I've had this car for about a week, put about 356 miles on it, and have loved every minute of it. The interior is a big part of that because for such a tiny little car, this is extremely comfortable, especially in this top fit package with all the extras. There's just a lot of great stuff in here, and it's pretty ergonomic. I've been really impressed with how they have done this car. It's been redone. This is all new for this year, of course. So we'll get started. Windows controls down here. This seems like it would get in the way, but it really doesn't. You can get a hold of them pretty easily. Up here you have the door, of course, and your side mirrors. I don't like this placement, but given that you adjust the side mirrors only rarely, it's probably not really that big of a deal. Lighting over here, it has an automatic mode in this one. And then, of course, your dimmer switch and my OSHA approved thongs. You'll notice that this sport model, of course, has the metal pedals. So yeah, you can go to town. And I'll talk about the transmission in a minute because that's very important, even though it's not technically part of the interior here. So you have your lighting here. Here's a paddle shifter. There's one on either side, of course. Cruise control here and audio levels here. This controls audio for both the radio and your telephone. One thing that I did note is that no matter what you have the volume set to, the phone ringing sound when the phone rings and it sets it off over there, and the same thing happens in the Sport Wagon. That's extremely loud. I don't care what your audio settings are. And that's annoying because I can't find a setting to change that. There may be one, but I couldn't find it. Over here you have menu controls for there, and also your menu controls for here, plus your telematics and jumping through channels and whatnot. Here's your other paddle shifter. Here's your wipers. It works just like the Sport Wagon did, up and down for the front and push it back for the rear wiper, and speeds up here. Looking at the gauge cluster, you can see the red line is about 6,500 RPM, and down here's your engine temperature. This is the changing display, so you can show all kinds of stuff. Right now I have it showing audio, but you can swap around and you can look at your phone. If you have an engine light on, it will tell you what that means. There's a lap timer, which is really kind of a cool thing. And driving data, which is where I've had it most of the time while I've been on the road. It shows you your current fuel consumption and a few other things. Over here you have your speedometer and fuel gauge right there. This is an indicator of how you're driving, what driving mode you're in. I'll show you some more on that in a second. Down here you can see I just turned on the parking brake. Normally that's automatic, but when I pulled in here, I put it into park, but I didn't shut the engine off, so it did not automatically engage the park brake. It automatically engages and disengages, which is a very cool little feature, because when you're in a car and you park, especially an automatic, but any car, you really should be using that park brake. So it's a nice feature to have it automatic. Basically the way it works, just to quickly go over it, is you park, and then when you park and you you stop the car, you put it into park, and you hit the off button. So you turn off the car. The parking brake automatically engages. Now I'll show you the toggle switch. You can turn it on and off. When you start the car back up and you put it into gear, it stays engaged. The parking brake stays engaged until you press the throttle. As soon as you touch the throttle, then the parking brake automatically shuts off. Very, very cool. All right, so over here, we have our infotainment. You can see I have it on the radio, and I'll show you a few other things that we can do here. Most of it is pretty straightforward. It's the usual Volkswagen thing. So you select what you want here, and then you push to actually go there. I'm told that this is going to upgrade later in the year. So some of the GUI stuff will change later in the year. I was talking to Volkswagen a couple of days ago. So we'll look forward to that and see what it looks like when it happens. Down here is your climate controls. Very straightforward, nothing special. I've turned them off so that the air's not blowing into the audio here, but you have dual climate in this setup, and then you have all the usual stuff where you can, quickly hit the max AC, quickly defrost, all that sort of thing. Intuitive. I love these kind of setups. I'm really not a fan of putting climate up there on the infotainment. Down here, here's the shifter. This is a DSG transmission. Beautiful transmission. I've talked about this before. DSG stands for a bunch of German words. But what it basically means is dual clutch. And the way it works is just phenomenal. When I have it in manual mode and I pull the trigger to shift, the RPMs change immediately. There is no lag at all. It shifts like that. Beautiful. Now down here I want to show you a couple of things on the shifter. So you have your shift handle here, and you can see what you do. So you go into gear, you push it over. If you want to go into manual, you can shift up and down in manual or use those pedals. Traction control here, and mode. I'm going to show you the mode up here. I have it in race mode because, well, race mode, right? But you can change whatever one you want. And so you can go to normal mode, which is what it defaults to, race mode, which speeds up the shifting a little bit and does a few other things, and then you can customize it. So you can go here and then use this and go into settings and do some changes. This is also touchscreen, FYI. Very cool, but all you have to do to choose it is choose it and not touch anything, and it goes, oh, okay, we're good. And you can just close the screen or whatever, and it's chosen. Now back down, parking brake I was talking about before. Here's your drink holders. Here's your extra, I usually just been setting my phone there. Drink holder has a cover. Seating, I want to talk about this seating. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. Sport bolstered seating. The bolstering is nice and heavy and cushy, but it is not restrictive. It's not too tight. It doesn't poke you anywhere. It doesn't do any of that. It fits very, very well, even for somebody my size. So these hold you in place. Does a very good job of doing that while you're, especially when you're hitting hard corners. And this car loves corners, just so you know. Beautiful stitching. This is the upfit, of course. There is a cloth seat in the base, although I don't know that the R model itself has a cloth version. I'd have to look that up. The back seats, nice back seats. Adults can sit back there. It can be a bit of a squeeze if the person up front is tall, but we had child safety seats back there, no problems whatsoever. And because this is a hatchback, there is also cargo, and the cargo area is of a good size. It's not huge, but it's not tiny either. You can get a fair amount of stuff in there. So decent cargo, no complaints at all. This is a small car, but it is not tiny. It's very well done for the size of the car. Lots of space in here. I've always been a fan of the Golf because it's just one of the original 5 doors with a decent layout and a good build. And this new rendition is just very, very well done. I've greatly enjoyed this car this year. Had a fun time driving it. Liked the sport wagon. Enjoyed this R. This is a great vehicle that covers the gamut. With you have the you have the low end model at I don't remember what the base price is, but it's under 20,000. It's I think it's in the 18 or $19,000 range. I'll look it up, and you'll see that written down on the bottom here somewhere probably. And then this model right here is about $30,000, and the sport wagon was about halfway between there. So beautifully done. Volkswagen did a very good job on this car. Very impressed. So there you go. That's it. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and this has been the 2015 Golf R from Volkswagen. Talk to you again soon.